Hello, everyone. Happy Motivational Monday. My name is Kira. I am your weekly host for Motivational Monday, and we have the wonderful, the amazing Erin Rose here with us. As per usual, I will give you some announcements, and we have announcements today, but I will give you announcements, and then I'll give Erin a formal introduction, and then we'll dive into the conversation. And for those of you who are just tuning in, today's conversation is really about the strength in every emotion because I think as a society, we have this notion that our emotions are our weaknesses, and I think they're the places where we can feel and we can soften and we can honor ourselves better. But in the truth of it all, your strength and the greatness of who you are comes from your ability to be and express and honor and trust in your ability to process your emotions. So, before we dive into the actual conversation, I have announcements, I have notes. It is the end of the quarter, which means that it is the end of our third season of Motivational Monday. Now, that doesn't sound crazy, but it is crazy because that means that we've been doing Motivational Monday for 9 months straight. And so many of you have seen so much great transformation, so much great growth, and we've evolved a lot over this time as well. So, I want a 111 in the chat if you are here for your first time so I can shout you out and give you some love. And I want a 222 in the chat if you are returning and you love us and you just can't get enough. Or maybe you just keep coming back and you're trying to figure out if you love us. I'm just going to assume that you adore us, but that's only because I just get numbers and I get to choose how I perceive them. So, this is our last episode of our emotional well-being series. We have been doing Rooted in Well-being for this entire spring season. We did physical well-being in April, which all of you who were here, 80% of you saw a positive increase in your physical well-being. We did mental well-being in May, and 85 to 90% of you saw an increase in your mental well-being. Congratulations on that. And then we are coming out to the end of our emotional well-being series, which we do not have a motivational Monday next week. Whenever the season ends, I give us a day off. And by that, I mean I'm going to run into the woods, hopefully, if it's not raining. But I also give us some time. So keep an eye out on your email because there will be a worksheet and more of like a call to action activity for you to do to solidify everything that you've been working on during this time with us. So it gives us time to sit. It gives us time to integrate. It gives us time to process all of the work that we've done before we move on to the next season. So, our next season is called Leading in Love, and it is all about being the pioneer for thriving and healthy relationships in your life. July is all about your self love. You cannot have a healthy relationship with anyone if you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself. August is all about interpersonal relationships, and that means lovers, friends, and family. And then September is all about professional relationships and how to navigate that. A lot of you have requested specifically all of these, but I always hear about the business relationships, and I'm like, okay, we'll do that. So that's what the next series looks like. I am going to give you our links for to register for all of those. And then we actually, while I'm doing that, just because I have to pull it up and do some things, I'll do Aaron's intro and then I'll have him share a little bit about today's session. And then while he's doing all of that, I'll share the links. So, with that, we have our very own Aaron here. He is a seasoned motivational speaker, life coach, and spiritual guide who has spent over 20 years helping others find clarity and purpose. Beginning as a social media educator, he has traveled across the United States to support those seeking guidance, specializing in numerology, astrology, meditation, shadow work, and relationship coaching. He empowers individuals on their spiritual journeys. This man texted me the other day. He's like, "What's your birthday?" And I send him my birthday, and he goes, "Oh, you're the leader of business. You're at the heart and center of innovation. You are intuitive. All these things." I'm like, "Why are you saying all these words that like match exactly who I am? How'd you get that?" And he's like, "Girl, I read numbers like people read their ABCs." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So he's really cool. His own awakening, sparked by profound personal challenges, led him to embrace self-mastery, entrepreneurship, and a deeper connection with his higher self. Now, as a mentor, Aaron helps others discover their purpose, overcome obstacles, and achieve their manifestation goals. So, without further ado, we have the great, the wonderful, the amazing Aaron here. Tell us a little bit more. Give us like the general overview for today's conversation about the strengths in all of our emotions. And while you're doing that, I'll drop the links in the chat.
Got you. Thank you, Kara, for that. Hilarious. What awesome introduction. Uh, talking about emotions today, I gotta take a step back because that thing you just said about how I text you and you gave me that, this is how Aaron is. You made me literally just laugh because I'm just like, I do be like that. So I appreciate that. But in regards to that, the emotion that I'm feeling now is funny, generous, and blissful, which is awesome. So today, first of all, I want to say shout out to everybody because I saw a lot of 222s in the chat. So welcome back. If this is your first time, you are in for a season and a blast. Today's topic for emotions is one of my favorites because it's one of the things that we as human beings have, but a lot of us don't even know how to actually deal with them. Women, I'm not a woman, but I do know that women, you all have to deal with emotions all the time. So it's like you've learn to deal with them your whole life. So you've mastered them at one point, but they can be insanely crazy. But we as men, it's almost like we don't environ them at all. We just stick with one particular thing. And that's not a very good thing. So in today's lesson, I want to talk about why emotions are good, how you can use them in beneficial ways, and how they will help you live a longer and great lasting life.
Thank you for that. I think I called Aaron and I was like, hey, can we talk about emotions with men, please? I don't always have men on Motivational Monday, really, just because the ratios in our guides community, we have a lot more women, which is really beautiful, especially as we're taking people on deep, vulnerable journeys. But I think men and women have different challenges in the world. And I think one of the things that makes me sad about the world that we live in for boys and men is that they're taught that they shouldn't express their emotions. Men don't cry. Really, like the only things that you see from them a lot of the times can be anger. Some men don't even know how to feel happiness. Some men don't even know how to feel satisfaction, because what happens is when you turn one emotion off, you can't just isolate it. You essentially turn everything off. So Aaron being here as a man who is emotionally aware and works with his emotions, I felt like this is a perfect conversation. So I have a graphic that I'm going to put up on the screen while he's speaking to share the emotions. And Aaron, please take us away. Oh, and actually, you have a question you're going to ask them. You ask the question.
Oh, yes. So while this graphic is up, I want everybody in the chat write down how are you feeling today? And I don't want something simple as, oh, I'm great. Like if you're angry, if you're upset, if you're disappointed, whatever you're feeling, write that in the chat because I want you to be open and honest about it because that is literally honoring your emotion. And while you all are writing that in the chat, the picture that you see up here was an illustration I put together and thank you everybody for your honesty. I just saw uneasy. That's a very good thing because you're honoring it. So each emotion, I want everybody to think of each emotion as a roommate. Okay. You are a body, you are a vessel, and you have all these personalities, you have all these energies around you. But what did society literally teach us? It's like as soon as you wake up and you go into work, we don't care how you feel, put in a smile, smile for customers, do this and do that. It's like they force you to only focus on one emotion. And that's not a good thing because genuinely inside, you don't feel that, but they're forcing you to only deal with one. So think of emotions are living, breathing archetypes within us. They all have personalities, voices, stories, and even needs. If we treat each emotion like a passenger in a car, the key is inner balance, letting them ride, but not necessarily driving or putting them in the back of your trunk. So emotions are literally just like soul's children. So if you look at each illustration, okay, now, again, if I tell you what emotions are, most people would just say, oh, yeah, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm this, I'm that. You won't be able to relate it to you. But if I were to say your emotions was like a roommate, let's imagine you got your own place, you're vibing, you're chilling, and every single time you feel a certain way, that roommate comes knocking at your door. Okay. And every time that roommate comes knocking at your door, you're like, what's up? And for all of us who've had roommates or friends, each one is a different personality. Like again, Kira, she's bubbly, she's excited, she's fiery, she's energy. So I know whenever I talk to Kira, not all the time, but she's going to be one of the emotions on here. So I would call her bliss. But whenever I talk to somebody else, they may be feeling a certain type of way. So the first one that we see is shame and guilt. And I know a lot of people literally have had, a run in with that type of person. It's the silent teacher. It deals with forgiveness and realignment. And why does he show up? He or she, it points to growth areas and where you're betrayed in your truth. So if you think about shame and guilt, that's exactly how we feel. Whenever you do something and you feel shameful, you become that I want to hide away. I did something guilty. I want to go into a corner. But we never really ask ourselves, why do we do that? We kind of just do it, push it to the side, or some of us will literally wear that mask indefinitely. But again, if you keep that person in your corner or you allow that person to stay, your entire life will become of shame and guilt. And you don't want to do that. So if shame and guilt came knocking on your door, you want to be like, hey, what's up? Why are you here? Well, you did something and you need to acknowledge it. Oh, I don't want to acknowledge that away. If you lock it away and you go back to, let's say, we have inner peace and joy, hey, come into my location. You're bringing that new energy in there. But how do you think shame and guilt is going to feel when you push them aside? Anytime you're talking with friends and you don't connect with them, they literally be like, yo, what's good? Why haven't you spoken to me? And if you keep pushing them to the side, they're going to get upset. The next one we want to talk about is sadness. Sadness, as you can see, tears, in the blue, in the mindset. And most people in today's society, sadness is a lot of us have pushed that away, especially again, we as men. Men, I would say shame and guilt, we can wear that with no problem. Like, yeah, okay, I'm cool. But when it comes down to sadness, it's like, nah, I don't want to be sad right now. I'm a man. I'm this, I'm that. I'm going to wear this. But in all actuality, when you don't allow yourself to be sad, it doesn't acknowledge what's going on in your life. Because I can tell you again, as a man, there's plenty of times that I'm sad. I'm sad because I can't take care of this situation, or maybe I can't find love with this, or maybe I can't connect with my father, or maybe I'm not making enough money. So once you honor that sadness, it helps you to recognize, once again, a roommate. Sadness, what's good? Why are you here? Well,
Mm.
you have a tendency to push that aside. When an emotion pops up, treat them like a best friend. Honor them as to who they are. Next, you got peace, the wise elder.
Wait, can I stop you
Yeah.
quick? Because I feel like again, I'm not a man, so I could never understand a male's experience. I am so well versed in the female's experience. It's a crazy ride, but you said something, and we have men on this call, which I love, but you said something that men are more likely to be okay with shame and guilt than they are with being with sadness. Can you share more about that? Is it that sadness is like this deep sadness that we don't know how to feel, but like shame and guilt can sometimes be a motivator, or we're just more used to feeling bad for our feelings versus feeling sad for our feelings? Like what is that?
Okay, very simply, I'll relate it back to, let's go back to the 1950s, where a majority of us men today, like my fathers, were born in the 50s. Back in the day, men were hardcore. It was don't cry, be a man, shut up. Women were, when you think about emotions, the reason men are not able to shout our emotions was because society literally taught us that men are emotionless. So when you think about it, again, a man is okay. If I'm angry, yeah, I'm cool. If I'm shamed and guilt up, blow it all off. So we were always related to, oh, women are emotional. If you're emotional, you're a woman. So that's programming. So a lot of men today, it's not that we don't have emotions. It's just that society, our fathers, again, World War II happened not too long ago. Everybody's insecurities happened not too long ago. So because the foundation was set on men, go get the bacon. Men, take care of this. Men, don't show shame. Men, do this. If you show emotion, oh, you're a this or you're a that. So a lot of men, it's like we've been taught to just be this hardcore energetic being when we're around everybody. But when we're by ourselves, we'll let it all out. So it's that programming that literally got us there, because society was like, men are this, women, y'all can be all over the place. But in all actuality, we're supposed to be able to have that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that was a great explanation.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about peace. Oh, also, While Aaron is talking, we do have 5 minutes at the end for Q&A. There's a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. If he's talking about things and you have questions, you don't have the ability to be like, wait, Aaron, the way that I do. But at the end, we have the wait, Aaron time for all of that. So if something pops up, just drop it in that box and we'll be sure to answer it at the end. Now continue on.
Okay, excellent. All right. So, peace, again, if you look at it, everybody is like, and I teach meditation. Oh, be at peace. Everything is peace. Everything is great. Peace comes in whenever you need to have that foundation of relaxation. Again, let's say you're too bottled up with shame, guilt, and anger. Peace needs to come in and say, yo, you need to relax. So, peace is that inner stillness, inner calmness. When you're at peace, you can think. When you're at peace, you can have a good time. When you're at peace, you bring your stress down. Next, we have love. Love, again, when you're in a relationship, you feel love. When your mother loves you, when your father loves you, when you love yourself, it's the divine heart. It's allowing you to be open and vulnerable. It allows you to connect and heal. But a lot of people, once again, love can be a harsh reality as well. Because most people will not open up themselves to love because while they had love in, all of a sudden somebody comes and kicks in your door and makes you feel terrible. And then your shame and guilt comes in. So, love for a lot of people, it's almost like we're afraid to let love come in because it allows you to be open and honorable to your feelings. But a lot of people around us, because they got the roommate of shame, guilt, filter, and all this other stuff, is like, why am I going to allow myself to be vulnerable when everybody else is like, die, die, die? So, because people have not found that balance, it's suppressed it, pushing down. Next, joy. Never mind, we're good. Joy. And I don't know if anybody's seen the movie Inside Out. It's a Disney movie. Watch it. One and two is a beautiful movie because it literally shows about how joy is the main characters. There's joy and sadness in other ones. But in today's society, like I said, when you go into work, they always want you to be joyful. Whenever you talk to your customer service, be joyful. But a lot of us, let's be real. Whenever you come in, some of y'all just be like, man, I want to kick the doors over in this place. You're not paying me enough. I don't like this person, this, that. But if you show it, oh, you're crazy. Oh, you need to go home. You need to do this. So joy feels good, but when you have so much joy and take it from somebody who used to be joyful and peaceful, oh, you're a Zen master. I'm like, I'm a Zen master, but at the same time, there are times to where I am not happy. So if I wear that joyful face all the time, once again, I'm pushing everything to the side. Then next, you got fear.
Wait, can we talk about joy for a sec?
Yes,
Because I
we
think
can
you and
talk
I
about
have similar tendencies, and this might relate to some of you all. Um, and probably you too, Aaron. I am like the world's greatest optimist. I will see greatness in everything. I will see greatness in a narcissistic man breaking me down for 2 years in a relationship because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm helping him grow, all of these things. He's going to get better one day. I see the optimism. I see how good it could be, but not how bad it really is. And sometimes that's the thing with all of these emotions. They all have a teacher side and they all have a side that holds us back. So joy as a default is a great emotion, but if you use it as your way to deny, oh, I love that. If you use it as your way to deny what's really happening in your life, or if you use it as your shield to not be vulnerable and not open yourself up and not tell people your needs, then that's where joy starts being a struggle. And that's out of all of these emotions, I think joy and bliss and peace have all been the ones that like led to some of my silent demise because I just didn't know. I was like, oh, I'm happy all the time. Everyone knows me as happy, but there's a time when you gotta let Kira roar. Like there are times now I'm like, hey, this is what I need. And people hear it. But when you start stepping out of being that like wild optimist at all times, you'll have some people being like, wait, what are you doing? Who are you? Why? Like, this isn't the Kira I've always known. You're usually always light. You've never asked for anything. So there's the balance with it all, but the more that you learn about all of the emotions, the more that you get to give yourself permission to be in the higher side of a lot of them or move from your default to the lower side up. So that's what I have to say about joy. You can continue on, Aaron.
And I'm in the same exact way. Like I said, I used to be joyful all the time growing up as a kid, like making sure that everybody liked me. But in that time, I pushed away a lot of the anger parts and everything else. When I stuck with joy, I'm going to relate it to fear and anxiety. Because I wore joy and love and peace on my shoulder to please everybody else, it brought the fear and the anxiety. And if you look at those photos, fear is, like I said, you're afraid to be able to speak up with yourself. It makes you anxious. It allows your blood pressure to go up. It's almost like you're so anxious that if I really speak and show my other side, they're going to feel a certain way. When you ignore those, you come into Mr. Anger, which is at the very bottom. And I can tell a lot of you all, and I'm pretty sure you all know this, when you suppress something for so long, and that new roommate comes in, like let's say anger, and they kick in the door, it's almost like an explosion. When you suppress anger for so long and you don't allow it to give it a turn, it will kick everybody out, and you could end up losing your job, because they always say, don't do things when you're angry. And it's so very true. Just like the movie Fun with Dick and Jane with Jim Carrey, Jim Carrey was a prime example. That's another good movie to watch. Jim Carrey was suppressing all of his energies for the longest time. And because it brought so much anxiety into his life, anger and frustration came in and took over his life. And I got to tell you all, it's not a good feeling to be able to do that. Now that I've said all of these emotions, let me tell you how cool it is. Again, especially as a guy, fellas, listen up. Everybody has emotions. When you learn to balance them, when you learn to be able to appreciate them, it allows you to get stuff done. Like, again, I'll use an example. There are times I'm always joyous, but then I could be broke and not making any money or not getting moves done, and people are taking me over. And I know I'm angry, but I'll suppress it to the side. But now, whenever I feel that anger, I'll literally embody it. I'll listen to music that embody. I'm like, yo, what's up, anger? Let's good. Yo, let's rock with today. All right. When I'm angry, I don't lash out at anybody, but I take that anger and I transmute it. And I'm just like, I'm tired of being this type of way. For real? Yeah, you know what we're gonna do about it? Let's drop some new knowledge on them. Or let's drop this new book that you wanted to be talking about. So when you become best friends with your emotions, I really do love the anger, not because I want to be angry, but it allows me to get stuff done because I'm saying, welcome, why are you here? I embody into it. Even if everybody else is just like, yo, what's good with you today? I'm angry. Don't lash out on them, but just say, listen, I'm in my anger mode today. Allow me to let it cipher. And then once you embody and breathe and find out why it's here, now you'll be able to release and say, thank you, anger, for visiting me. It's been fun. Now, the next emotion, energy in motion. That's what emotions are. If you don't allow the energies to be in motion, you will get stuck on one roommate. They'll overstay their welcome, and then you will literally push that sense down.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that anger is really great for is, and it says it right there on this picture, it fuels action. A lot of people sit in their anger and don't necessarily do anything about it, and that's exactly what Aaron was talking about. But for me with anger, I know a lot of the times why I get angry. I say a lot of the times because if it's with a family member that I've been with since birth, sometimes it's just I'm like I'm still uncovering some things, but for the most part, um, and I sit there and I tell people, I'm like, I just need a day or two. And it's not personal. Like I just need to sit with it. I feel things really big and then I'm a big feeler, but then I need to understand it and get to the groundedness of it and then have an actual conversation. So for me, anger is like the North Star telling me that something needs to change, but I don't react or respond through anger. I process through it and then I use that anger as insight, as intelligence from whatever I learned. Like, what am I angry about? Why am I angry about it? What has happened to me in the past? What do I need moving forward? How can I communicate this? And then I do all of that. So there's a lot of inner work for me that comes with anger because I've had the ability to be rageful a lot in my life and it's never done anything good for me. Um, it's probably hurt me and others more than it's gotten me what I've actually wanted. But anger is a great teacher. So with that, we do have a question in the Q&A, which I'm so excited for. Montoya has asked us, they say anxiety is the same as excitement. It's just how it's interpreted. But how do you know how to differentiate the two?
Very easy. So I can look at it like this: anxiety and excitement. Anxiety is whenever is almost like, again, if you look at the photo, anxiety is like jittery, confused, all these other things. It's like you don't feel when you're anxious, you don't really feel good about it. It's so many different things that's going on into your mind. Excitement is a blissful feeling. Whenever I'm at a theme park and I'm enjoying myself, you can feel, oh my God, I'm excited. It's a blissful, uplifting feeling. Whenever I'm in love or whenever I'm making money or whenever anything like that. So, excitement is the dopamine, the high, the joyfulness. It makes you feel good. Anxiety does not make you feel good. Now, it can be matched within the two, but it takes me back to I want to end it with most things that says, how do you actually honor each emotion? Step one, if you're feeling sadness, anxious, or anxiety, you literally don't want to say, I am sad or I am anxious. You want to say, I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling excitement. Let the emotion ride like a breath of wave instead of crashing like a storm. The next thing you can do is, why is that energy here? Step when you feel something, ask yourself, talk to yourself, yo, like Kira said, why am I angry? You'll get the answer. Why am I sad? When you acknowledge it and ask these questions, you will literally get the answers that you seek. The next thing you can do is, whatever energy you're feeling, paint it, dance with it, speak with it. If you're feeling something, once again, let's say I'll relate it back to angry. Don't lash out on everybody, but paint something, draw something, allow that energy to come out, because some of the best pieces come out. If you're an artist, a musical artist, drop a song about why you're angry, transmute that into a beautiful symphony, transmute it into artwork that shows. Because once again, energy, emotions is bodied inside of you. If I put it towards other people, it's not going to be that great. But if I take that energy and put it on paper, writing it, journaling it, get it out of your system to where you can see it. Journaling is a very good thing as well too, because once again, if I'm sad, if I'm anxious, if things aren't working well, let me journal. Today I feel sadness because of da 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 da. When you write these things down, you are literally taking it out of your mind and you're seeing what's what. And at the last thing I'll say is, take a moment to breathe. Be honest with yourself and breathe. Don't allow anybody else's, I won't feel this way because of their feeling that way. Allow your emotions and your energy to be true to who you are, and you'll thank yourself.
Thank you, Aaron. We have one last question, and I'll need this answer to be relatively short because I want us to end on time. I believe in us and our ability to do this. Um, what if you're unable to do anything because your emotion is so strong? I have one. I'll offer a suggestion because I was thinking about this with anger. Scream into a pillow. Stomp your freaking feet. Just move it through your body some way. That would be my advice. And also I'm the type of person who's afraid of big emotions and don't trust that it's not going to overwhelm me. So I have to learn, that's something that I have to learn and sit with as well. But do you have any quick hitter advice for that, Aaron?
Yes, very simple. Your words are power. Don't ever say, I'm not in control. If you are like, my emotions are so big and I don't have control over it, your words create power. So anytime you feel like you don't have control of your emotions, it's because you're saying it. Take a moment, breathe, and say these words: I am in control of my emotions. When you say that, you will literally talk to that roommate in your head. You have to say it over and over again. And once you be able to do that, you will be in control. Boom.
Beautiful. Oh, so good. We are right on the dot at 12 o'clock. Thank you all so much for being here. I just dropped Erin's link in the chat. If you all don't know what Life Guides is, we are a mentoring and coaching platform that you can use for personal or professional uses. And Erin is one of our guides, and you can schedule a call with him. So if you're like, hey, you know what? I don't really know how to process my emotions. You've got Erin. You can schedule a call. Other than that, happy Motivational Monday. We will not be seeing you next week. Keep an eye on your email for a worksheet and an activity that'll keep you synced up, and then I will see you the following week. And there's a survey at the end of this. Please fill out the survey. Please tell me how everything has been for you. Leave me your feedback, especially at the end of the season. It's the most important. Okay, that's all. That's all I gotta say. See you, everyone.
Peace
Happy
out, y'all.
healing.
Have a
Bye.
good one.